Well, welcome guys to the mini course in delegation. And my promise to you is that by the end of this mini course, you will have freed up 5 hours per week by delegating repetitive tasks. And here's the best part. It's without risking the quality of the work, so you can focus on filling up your course with high-paying students. Because I believe that's something you want, because otherwise you probably wouldn't have been here. I like this quote from Alex Hormozi: smart, busy, broke. You can't be all three. So let's see if we can start working smart and be busy so we can be rich. That's the idea I'm hoping to go for here. Some of you guys are probably here because you feel like oftentimes it's just faster if I do it myself, even though you know that someone else should be doing it. And there's a reason why you might end up in this situation, and that complexity is what we're going to talk about in our mini course today. So you are in the right place if you have an online course already, or if you're building one right now like I'm doing with you guys, and if you're kind of stuck with the $10 per hour task, and every time you delegate it just feels like it's just better if I do it myself. For some reason you can't really get it to work, which means like you'll just end up doing it because it isn't good enough when you delegate or outsource. And we're talking to a VA, or we're talking to someone you found on Fiverr or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But if you have someone else who you want to do things for you, and you're unable to kind of get them to do it to your level of quality, then this will be perfect for you. It's also for you guys whose business have reached a point where it can't really grow any further because you are the bottleneck. And some of you guys would agree to this already. There's like, crap, that's me. And for other guys, this might be a little uncomfortable, a little awkward that we are the bottleneck. But that's fine. That's what we're going to fix. So don't worry about that. But the main goal here for most of us is to fill up our course and work less. And this is also for you if you want to know what tasks you should be doing and what should be delegated. This is not obvious for everyone, and I get it. Like, it's not always simple to understand exactly what I should be doing on someone else. We hear it all the time. Like, you should focus on the 5%, and you should do the 80-20 principle. Like, yeah, but what are my 5%? That's also something we're going to figure out in this course. If you want to be in control of your time, and you want to focus on the things that move the needle in your business, this is done for you. This is perfect. And if you want to learn how to delegate so you get the exact results that you want, even if you don't have a lot of time right now. I know some of you guys are going to be like, I don't have the time to learn how to delegate. I don't have the time to do this. But we're going to make it so extremely simple, so extremely compact, that the first goal here is just to get you the time to learn it properly. Like I told you, we're going to get you 5 hours back per week if you invest a little bit of time into this course. And some of you are going to think 5 hours for one task, that doesn't make any sense. But bear with me a little bit, because I have designed this specifically to get you the minimum 5 hours per week back. Most of you guys, you have tried finding people on Fiverr, Upwork, or onlinejobs.ph, and you find a bunch of people, they come to you, maybe you work with them a little bit, they do decent work, or maybe they do crappy work, and for some of you guys, they just disappeared. You got ghosted. You don't have a VA anymore. And then you've tried it a couple of times and then you kind of give up. And it's not always the case that it's the VA that's the problem. Sometimes it could be our business structures. Sometimes it's the VA. And sometimes it's actually how we lead our VAs. And we're going to have a look at why VAs tend to ghost us and figure out how we can lead them or talk to them so they feel a strong urge to be with us for a long time. For multiple years. Like the VAs I have now are the same that I've had basically all the time. And if you have tried creating one of those fancy projects board where like everything's automated and like it's just you've built this on Asana or Monday or whatever it is, and it's like now they're going to be able to understand exactly what they need to do and on time and hit the deadlines for everything. And that didn't work either. That's totally fine. We're going to figure out a way how to remove as much tech and complicated stuff as possible. And this one's important. If you are the type of person who's sending Loom videos of exactly how to do something, like step by step by step, you're literally showing them exactly how to do something, but still the quality of work isn't where you want it to be, they can't meet your expectations, then this training or this course will be spot on, because this is literally a very common problem that we're going to fix. And this one I'm super excited about. So if you are having any of these things and you've tried these things, welcome. You are the perfect fit. So I'm hoping that you're here because you want a business that you can take 3 weeks away from it without worrying. You do what I did. You could go on a trip through Europe for 6 months and just maintain your business. So if that's the type of business you want, and you want a team that can work autonomously without your constant guidance, and who will produce the things that you want because they understand what it is that you want, then I will give you all the tools you need for that. I will give you the tools on how to communicate, what to say, how to say it, and how to show the things so your Loom videos actually work, and how to make sure that you don't have all those frustrations. So in other words, if you're a course creator, agency owner, and you're struggling to fill your program with high-paying students, then I will teach you exactly what and how to do to delegate your administrative tasks or your somewhat more creative tasks to a VA or to your team without reducing quality or wrecking your brand reputation. So you can do what you're best at. Whatever creative thing it is that you want to do and you're good at, that's what you should be doing. Like me right now. I'm here teaching something I really love and something that I am pretty good at. And hopefully you'll figure that out by the end of this, or you could send me an email, say, I suck. Either way, I'll learn something. Before we head into the nitty-gritty details, there are a few things we got to understand first. Like a few things we got to wrap our heads around so we really make sure that you take the actions that's needed. First off, I don't think you are drowning in work. You're drowning because you're doing the wrong work. And this is a big deal. You are probably here because you are really good at working hard and you know how to be good at something. And you're so good at something that you want to teach that in your program or your course. So I don't think the issue here is that you can't do a lot of work. I just think that maybe you're doing the wrong things. The things that are, taking the energy, the fun out of being an entrepreneur or being an online course creator. And you're being stuck in all these crappy assignments like, the tech of social media and the constant admin of paying stuff or payroll or VAs and all that boring stuff. But you just want to create, you want to do what you're good at. So I want to show you a system that will allow you to focus on your 5%, like first figuring out your 5% and then being able to focus on them because you're going to delegate everything else that you think suck or are boring. But we're going to start out with some administrative tasks, or actually you are going to have to choose whatever it is that you want. But my hope is you're going to take something boring and repetitive so you get the biggest wins. You can kind of look at it like this way. If you were going to a spa, you hang out with family, you did only the things that you really love, then you would be busy and you would be drowning in things to do, but you would enjoy it, right? So it's not the amount of work that needs to be done, it's that maybe you're doing the wrong things. For some of you, you have ended up in a situation where you're working harder than ever before. You feel like the employee of your own company, and you're just like running this hamster wheel. You're doing more and more and more work, but the output is kind of less and less and less. And you're constantly putting out fires, you're answering emails, you're responding to customer requests. But no matter how many hours you put in, you still feel like you're falling behind. The reason why this happens is because people or entrepreneurs get stuck in the doer mindset. They get stuck in the thing that got them to the position where they're at. You got here because you're really good at something. You're a course creator. You have something to share with the world. So you're probably really, really good at that. And now suddenly there are other things that you need to be really good at to grow and scale beyond where you're at. And if you're like me and many of the other people that I hang out with and work with, you just feel like, I just need more hours in the day. If I had more hours in the day, I could get everything done. But the reality is that more time isn't what's going to fix the problems. Maybe you've heard about the Parkinson's law. The Parkinson's law states something like this. I'm going to completely murder the quote, but you'll get the point, hopefully. It's that work will expand to the allotted time. So that means the more time we have, we're just going to expand and we're going to just fill it up with things. It doesn't mean we're going to do the most highly effective stuff, but whatever time we get allotted, we're going to fill it up with something. That's why we can never get done with anything. So coming from a doer perspective or a creator perspective, this becomes tricky. And you might even be thinking that you have to do everything yourself because no one can do it as well as you. And you're right. You're absolutely right. Right now, nobody can do it as well as you. But this course will change that. That's my entire promise to you. I want to make sure that you have the skills and the tools to delegate effectively after this course. So you'll be able to transfer those things that doesn't give you enjoyment, doesn't give you pleasure, or isn't like the 5% to someone else. And you will have the skills and tools to do that so they can work up to the level that you expect. So you feel comfortable, and you get to that point, and this is really where I want you to go. You get to that point where you're like, dang, they did so good that I'm just going to give them more and more and more and more and more. I'm going to give everything I can to my team because they do it better than I can now. What? Better than I? Yes, exactly. That's the thing. I want them to be better than you are at the things you're doing right now, other than the 5%. Your goal will be to have your team be better at the things that you think suck than you are. So you will feel almost emotionally forced to give it to them because it's faster and it's better, right? So your team or your VA can do the stuff better than you can. This doer or creator mindset could be what's holding you back. Like, I'm not going to tell you what's holding you back. What do I know, right? But there is a chance that maybe this way of seeing things is what's actually holding you back. Maybe this relates to you. You're trapped in this mindset that nobody can do it better than you, that you need to be involved in every little detail, from creating the content to handling customer support, editing videos, managing social media, blah, 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 blah. You see, everything I put on this screen now comes from real world interaction I have with people. And chances are maybe this applies to you as well. Or you're in the situation where you're kind of getting clarity now that, I don't have to do everything. I'm not the best at this, but you're unsure of how to get someone to do it your way. You can always outsource someone and you'll get something back. But the question is, will it be the way you want it? I just want to make sure that this is something that aligns with you, and maybe you can relate to this. And that's that this mindset or this way you're looking at things, I want to make sure that you're aware that it's costing you a bunch of money, costing you time, and most of all, it's costing you a lot of freedom. Like, if this is the case, then you've become, your own bottleneck or the bottleneck of the company. The more the business grows, the more work you will have to do. An example of this would be if that I was the one doing these slides, then the more courses I make, the more slides I would have to make. But that's not the case. I'm not doing the slides. Someone else is doing it for me. So I want to make sure that I'm only doing the things that are highly relevant to my skill set, and then get someone else to do the other stuff. I get it. I've been there too. This is a normal phase while transitioning from being a doer or a creator to being a leader, because that's what we're talking about here. And the best part is, it's a heck of a good problem to have. It's so much fun to solve it, and it's just exciting, because as soon as you start untangling this mess of you doing everything, you'll get your time back instantly. Like, literally, after this mini course, you'll have 5 more hours per week at least to dedicate to other things. And you might think that there's no way. Like, there's no way that's going to work. And I promise you it's going to work. But to do this, we got to enter a different way of thinking.